If I was rebuilding a local business's marketing in 2026, here are the 5 things I would do before I did anything else. Number one, I would make them findable. Creating a Google business profile is the perfect place to start. Create and verify your profile, have your correct name on there, your address, your phone, your hours, website and social can also be added on. Pick my primary category, whatever my top service was, relevant subcategories if needed. So if I was like a roofing company and I had my gutter services and I had maybe even some miscellaneous roof activities or maintenance services on top of that, I would add that on as a subcategory. I'd have some high quality footage of my work, my team, our building if we had a physical location. I believe Google actually makes you have that if you do have a physical location and you accept store visits. After I set up my Google business profile, I would set up my social profiles. So depending on who my customers are, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever, I'd pick the appropriate social platforms and I'd create profiles for those. At the bare minimum, take the footage that you had on your Google business profile and post that as social posts, just so the page is not blank and it looks like nobody's home. Because honestly, if you're going to go through the work of creating the page, you might as well have some type of post on there. And at the very least, post something each week, one post a week. You're already going to job sites. You might as well take before and after pics of jobs and post that as social content. When it comes to social profiles, a username, if you're going to create like a Facebook and Instagram, have a username that matches both platforms, at least as close as possible. Have some type of high quality image for that's going to be your profile picture, and it's the same across both. I can't tell you how many times I've seen like a profile picture where you just like straight up can't even make out what the words are saying, what the logo even is. It's pretty much useless at that point. The dimensions are wrong and all that, or it's too blurry, or it's like a picture of the owner's dog. Not necessary, not helpful. Just your logo, spend some time. Canva is like the simplest tool to learn. Throw it in there and go from there. When it comes to like social profiles and your Google business profile, you'll notice like there's some information that you could leave blank. It's optional. You could skip over it. And my rule of thumb is just if it asks for it, fill it in if possible, if it's available. For example, I'll see businesses with their header images that are just blank. And honestly, it just looks worse having a Facebook profile with a blank header image than not. So you might as well, if you're going to go through the effort of making it, just add an image, whether it's your logo or it's just what you do or who you service or previous work. Add something. Spend 10% more time to get 100% more benefit from it. And then lastly, just have a clear and concise bio. Doesn't need to be a whole paragraph. Doesn't honestly, most platforms don't let you, but just be clear on who you're servicing, what you're servicing, how they can take action, what the next step is, whatever that might be. And then lastly, just having a single link in bio, likely to just a contact page or a booking page or to your store or whatever that might be. I'll see these pages with a link tree with 50 links, and that's not helping them at all. It's not likely they have 50 different call to actions. And if it is, they probably need to reevaluate what they're doing. But, anyways, all I'm saying is if there is one link, it is 100% chance that they are clicking on that link and going to the next page, going to the ideal page. If you have a link tree and you have 10 different links, the odds just got far less that they click that and actually take the specific action that you want them to take because there's so many different options. So just something to think about. Part two is going to be clear and consistent with your messaging across all platforms. That's your website, that's your billboards, TV ads, radio, social media posts, whatever it might be, consistent. Have the same exact offer or the same exact messaging on all of them just to keep it clear and concise. Customers get confused easily. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying. So next is going to be make it easy to opt in. Make it easy to become a lead inside of your business. Kind of a fun test to run when working on optimizing your opt-in process is going to be counting the amount of clicks it takes or the amount of steps it takes to become a lead after somebody's clicked on an ad, visited from social media, whatever that process might be. How many clicks does it take? And then even time yourself. How long does it take? And are you able to shave time off of that without diminishing the quality of leads or anything like that? Just going back to this, I recommend you pick one primary action, whether it's call now, book an appointment, request a quote, whatever it might be. And then on your website, having clear and concise call to action buttons, taking the call now and applying it to every call to action that is on your website. It doesn't need to have a call now and a book appointment and a request a quote. You don't need a bunch of different call to actions. One simple thing. You'll notice the theme about this is stay simple. When somebody clicks on call now and there's like a form to fill out, whatever it might be, or if you have a form anywhere, I recommend starting on the simpler side. So less questions opposed to more questions. You are going to get more flow. You're going to get more feedback. Yes, it's likely you get an unqualified lead. It's not going to kill you. In most cases, it probably doesn't hurt to work on selling people that are more unqualified than qualified if you're just sitting around. For example, I have a client who just started running Facebook ads for the first time ever, custom closet company. And prior to this, they had never ran Facebook ads. And I pretty much went through the process of explaining there's going to be a point in time where maybe you want to slow down the lead flow. So in order to do that, we want to also increase the quality. So we are going to add more barriers in front of that person. That means more questions, or that means more steps, or that means whatever. Like it can mean a million things. But in this scenario, we actually added a question that actually required them not to just pick a multiple choice question, but it required them to actually type out more in depth what their project was about. If somebody was ready to enter in the process of having a custom closet installed, they would have this information. If they didn't, they likely would have to make up this information, and it is pretty clear when that's happening. So we've applied that, and we've noticed a significant slowing down of lead flow, and obviously cost per lead is going up. Along with that, though, the quality of lead is going up, which is the most important thing, especially when this person only has one person that's contacting all these leads. So it just made the most sense. But in the beginning, we never would have known that if we didn't start with more flow. And so that's kind of how that looks in real time. So next is going to be just setting up a simple capture and follow-up process. And this can mean every single lead that opts in on social media or messages you or you're introduced to at a party or whatever it might be gets added to the same place, whether that's a CRM or a Google Sheet. As long as it's the same place and everybody has access to it or everybody that needs to, and all the information for that person is in one place, that's all you need. Somebody opts in, the basic rule is going to be, can you call or text them back within 5 minutes? Over 5 minutes, bad. Under 5 minutes, good. Really all you need to know. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to a business owner and they're like, yeah, we get back to people fast. And I got back to them the next day. It's like they filled out a form wanting a new roof and you waited one day. Do you think they just filled out the one form for your business, or do you think they actually filled out a list of forms and whoever got back to them first won the job? Were you doing anything at the moment? Or they probably were on site, so could somebody have reached out to that lead? Likely somebody could have. And so that's what you need to think about when you're going through the lead capture and the reach out process and the follow up process. I do the same thing with my business. When somebody reaches out or even just has interest, I try to call them first as fast as possible. And then I try to text them and then I try to email them. And whichever one they reply back is now like, that's how we're communicating. And if they prefer to do a phone call down the line, perfect. Nowadays, if you miss a call, you set up some basic automation where they just get an initial text that at least keeps the conversation alive while you have time and gives you more time to actually get to the phone. That can just be like, hey, sorry, missed your call. How can we help? And then you take it over from there. As far as your follow up sequencing really needs to be when reaching out to leads, everybody kind of has a different opinion on this. I've spoke to businesses that really just give them one call. If they don't answer, they're dead to them. If you ask me, that's poor business. But that person actually reached out to them, wanted their information, and then they gave them one call and decided they were dead. I don't recommend doing that. I think if you're going to do that, you might just want to accept the fact that running ads are going to be really expensive for you. It's going to be hard, and there's likely going to be some uphill battles for you. Whereas if you're capable of squeezing as much juice out of the leads as possible, it gets a little more affordable. It makes a little more sense. And you don't need to be annoying about it. I really don't think so. Just sending touch points, sending reminders, letting them know that you're still there and their life gets busy and you understand that, you're looking to help them move the process along. Me especially, I'm somebody where if it has something to do with like the house and we need somebody to come do the cleaning or the HVAC or whatever it might be, I'm like, I'll put it off as long as I need to. Unless we can't breathe the air inside the house, I'm probably not rushing to go do it. But if they happen to reach out to me and set up the appointment and they have the time already ready for me, and all I gotta do is say yes and my address, I'm down for it. That's really everything for the capture and follow-up process. Now, lastly, arguably, I think the highest leverage opportunity with most businesses, and I don't really see a whole lot of people doing this, is going to be the collection and distribution of proof. How I like to define proof is evidence that you can do what you're saying you do. Simple as that. The goal behind this is just to make it so obvious that they should go with you over the next roofing company or over the next hairstylist or over the next window cleaner because you've helped so many people. You demonstrate how many people you've helped. Your work looks good. You're fun to work with. People have great things to say about you on reviews, on video testimonials, all of that. Honestly, it usually doesn't even take that much more work. It's just a matter of consciously taking the proof that is in front of you and collecting it and using it for advertising. I recommend maybe it's bi-weekly, maybe it's once every 2 weeks, or maybe you just have it installed into your cadence when you're working with a client to collect proof. But it's before and after pics when you're at a job. You already have to be there before, you already have to be there after. Take pictures, and then right after that, take a video. So not only do you have one ad, you have two ads. Pics of staff working with clients or at certain job sites, whatever it might be. Pics with customers, selfie. Sometimes it feels cringy. It also is cringy to have your business go under. So pics with clients, pics with the job, the work being done, your whole staff, whatever that might look like. And then honestly, video testimonials. If somebody's going to write you a Google review, ask that person to just say the Google review into their phone and send that over. All of this, everything I just said, is great social content, great Google business post content, and great content for your paid ads. Now you don't have to spend any time scripting or recording or designing anything. You just post what you already. So now you took something that most people just write off as a Google review and you injected proof steroids into it, and now it's a marketing asset for years to come. And the fun thing is that if you do it this way, every single time you complete a job well, you have more marketing content. So you just build this beast of a marketing content machine. I think it's definitely an underlooked thing that most businesses don't do is just you're already at the job site or you're already doing if you're a barbers do this all the time. They take a before picture, they take an after picture, and it's on their story. I love it. I think it's awesome. And also, how awesome do you feel when your barber takes a picture of you and wants to show off on their social media? And Google reviews, obviously, those are a different proof in my mind. I think it's more proof to the actual search engine of Google. I think it's great to use those and have them on your website and do all of that. But I think if you want Google to push you, having Google reviews is a part of that. If you have a bunch of bad Google reviews, good luck. But it's as simple as I just finished the job. I think they didn't stress that they were unhappy with me. They were not like, it wasn't a terrible process. You usually have an idea if somebody had a bad experience. I just asked them in person if they would like to leave us a review and how much that means to us. And then I will send them the link in person and likely implies that they should fill out the link or the form in person. That way there's not this whole like, oh, I sent you them a week later. Hey, did you get a chance to fill that up? Because it also feels crappy following up on a review that somebody's supposed to do. Now it feels like you're getting into it. Doesn't mean you don't do it. It just sucks. And to avoid that, you just do it in person. So that same process can then be applied into everything and maybe even kick off the whole who do we take before and after pics for, or who do we ask for testimonial videos for? It's our Google reviews. It's just a nice entryway into it. And I'm sure you'll have some customers that are like, I'm so pumped to give a Google review. I want to help you guys out so much. I really appreciate that you made this super simple. At least if you're doing a good job, you'll have those people. And then lastly, just make sure you are replying to Google reviews. You are replying to reviews. You're thanking people. Honestly, just because it's what you should do, but also that it makes you look human because you are. But also, it shows that it's not just this giant roofing company that comes in and it's a national brand, but you're a local brand. You're helping out local business owners, or maybe you're helping out local homeowners, and just giving you an opportunity to kind of show what you're about and not that it's just about getting more roofs or getting more clients or getting more customers, but it's about helping out other people. I think that's a good opportunity to do because what does everybody do? They look at the reviews. If they're looking at all these reviews and they see there's no replies, maybe they don't think anything of it. But if they see that there's some heartfelt replies from the business, it does add a different layer of proof to it. That's a real person on the other end of this. So that's everything. Those 5 things are the 5 things I would start with. But let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you next time.